BubbleNet is a new one-to-many multiplayer solitaire game by Drayer Ink that takes about 10 to 15 minutes to play. First, we're going to take you through how to set up the game, then how to play, and for those of you who've joined us in the middle of a game of BubbleNet, we'll show you how that works too. So, what should you have in order to play? In front of you should have a board, 24 fish tokens, 5 bubbles, and 2 podmates. There's also a shared deck of cards. Let's talk about how BubbleNet actually works. First of all, you're going to set up so that you have your fish all ready to roll. In the outer spiral, you place 1 fish on every fish space. On the inner spiral, you place a fish on every second space. So it'll be fish, no fish, all the way around like this. On your 5 starting bubble marker points, you place your 5 glass bubbles. Finally, there are 2 other whales in your podmates, who'll be helping you out today. Place those tokens within easy reach. And we're ready, so let's play a round of BubbleNet. The first thing you're going to do is move one of your bubbles. So we're saying the last bubble here is reaching the surface and bursting, and the front bubble is the one that the whale underwater is blowing. The second thing that happens in your turn is that you'll place your podmates and have them either herd fish or guard against the fish escaping. Both placing bubbles and herding fish cause the fish to react. So every time you place a bubble, or you place one of your podmates in herd mode, it pushes all of the fish in that segment in by 1 towards your mouth. If they reach your mouth, they go from your mouth to your belly. You can also have your other 2 podmate whales in guard mode, which means the whale is facing sideways, and instead of affecting just 1 segment, they affect 3, 1 on either side of the one where you've placed the whale. They don't push the fish inwards, but they do prevent the fish in those 3 segments from escaping during the fish response mode. So let's have a look at the 3rd stage of your turn. In this phase, the fish get to respond. So what we do is we flip this card. The card applies to everyone who is playing, a bit like bingo. This card tells us which segments the fish will try to use to escape, and it applies to everyone who's playing. The fish you have on your board will act according to the following rules. If there are any fish in a matching segment, they will try to move outwards by 1 spot, unless you either have a bubble or a whale blocking that segment. So, if there's a bubble in that segment, nothing happens. If there's a whale in herd mode in that segment, or a whale in guard mode and it's one of the 3 segments that guard mode covers, nothing happens. Otherwise, if there are no whales or bubbles blocking those fish, they move out by 1 space. If they move out beyond the outer spiral of bubbles, that's it, they're free and off to sea to be lunch another day. So, once the fish have responded, we repeat the process. So we move a bubble, push any fish inwards, move our podmates. Again, push any fish in by 1. Any fish that have reached our mouth in the middle here go into our belly. Then the fish respond, and that affects everyone in the game. And we continue until one person has managed to create the perfect big bite. So that is, once the bubbles have moved, the podmates have moved, and the fish have responded, if all of the fish of any player are only in this central spiral with the darker fish markings, that means they're ready for a big bite. If you're playing as a group that all started at the same time, everyone gets to take a big bite at the same time. But if anyone has any fish that aren't already in the inner spiral, those fish will be scared away and will swim out to sea before they take the big bite. So, how do you win? Well, the cool thing about BubbleNet is that you're only ever actually playing against yourself. So long as there are more fish in your belly than have escaped out to sea, you win. Now, we mentioned earlier on that BubbleNet is one of those games where people can join in as the game is in progress. You follow exactly the same pattern, you just start later on. So for example, if there are 3 people who are already playing and a 4th person joins in halfway through their game, the only person they need to be watching is their own board. So, after the fish have responded, if all of the fish on your personal board are in the central spiral, you can have your own big bite, and anyone else that's still playing can continue playing. And that's BubbleNet. Thanks for watching.